I'm going to be going over some more propensities of names and some unusual names, some things to look for, and some other things to consider. Now, when we look at this list, when I put the orange it's under it, it's also a hinge letter, which of course is a hang up or a karmic situation with somebody, and somebody that would cause some anxiety in someone's life. But if you look at the name Isaac, the letters under the A, and that means the person wants to either be independent or number one. And it also means that people born in August, which is the one which is this, it relates to the sun, August or Leo, February or Aquarius, and those born on the 1st, 10th, 19th, or 28th of any month would cause them some anxiety. And because the double A would mean that they may go back and forth on a situation. When you have these double letters, it causes a lot of inconsistency. But I should mention here too that the double letter and the numbers, dates, birthdays, signs that they stand for could also mean that somebody causes them ups and downs or in their life and out of their life, or they could be sometimes people. In the name Isaac, they pride themselves on a job situation, but they want to be number one. When somebody starts out with a vowel like I and ends with a consonant C, that means they start out with somebody in a more personal manner and then they close up a little bit in time. So that would be one of the concepts to look for. In the name Abbott, they start out very outward or aggressive and they wind up with the T. So the trust issue may be what causes them to close up. But the name Abbott has the double B, which means always trying to balance money and emotional matters. And of course, the B is the number two, and that stands for the moon, and the first house of the moon is Cancer, so it's hyphen 27, which are given in these astronumerology lessons. The name Webb would be also the double B. And if you notice, the W is the first letter, and a lot of pride in the person, anybody with a W, and it's a Mercury letter, so that means June or Gemini, as well as September or Virgo people would influence their life. And the name Freddie, the F, of course, means that the person acts friendly but isn't close to very many. And because they have the double D, there's changeable differences with family and distances, and yet they pride themselves, if you look at the I by the D, on family situations and the ability to communicate with people. So, and then if you look at Jeffrey, you notice that both consonants are the beginning and the end of the letter. Some people would argue that a Y is a vowel, but I treat AEIOU as vowels. I don't really treat myself a Y as a vowel. The double F means that they'd be friendly with people and then not. So they can be very variable in the way they act with people. And double F, from what I understand, is somebody that a lot of times won't get friendly with somebody because they're afraid to intrude. Now, and yet the F is the hang up letter. It's the odd letter because there's seven letters and the F is the middle letter. Now, in the name Philip, they either like you or not, and they pride themselves on being able to help people because when people pride themselves, which is the I, on L is to help. It's a sacrifice. It's the 12th letter, and they value their own pride, which is the H and the I next to it, and they value privacy and peace and quiet. So it's somebody that they may be a little bit reclusive in order to have some personal space. Now the name Scott, the hang up is doing things their way, and they have a double T, which means they could have. It takes them a while to be able to trust somebody. and they have consonants at the start and beginning and the end of their name, and that means that they don't really show who they are very easily. The name Collins has the double L, and they pride themselves on being liked. But the L is a hang up that the being liked is really a hang up with them. The name Tess has two S's, which could mean two careers or two different ways of making money at the same time. The name Emma has two M's. M has to do with restrictions, and M is also has to do with Uranus. People born on the 4th, 13th, 22nd, or 31st of the month would affect that person's life, and could also cause a lot of ups and downs emotionally. And they're a person that could go through a lot of changes in places or locations. Uh, the name Hallie has two L's, but the L is also a hinge letter, which means a hang up of being liked. And they would have tense situations with people born under the sign of Pisces or Sagittarius, and those born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th. You always have to go back to the planets. The name Lucille or prides themselves on being liked in their activities, but their hang up is to be recognized, the self identity. And they would have problems with people born on the 9th, 18th, or 27th of any month. And again, it would be Aries or Scorpio could be a problem to them. Shannon has the need to be needed. The hinge letter is the N, and their self-esteem could be very variable, and they either take care of themselves completely or not at all. They're picky or they don't care, and the N could mean that people born on any of the Mercury planets like Gemini or Virgo in the 5th, the 14th, or 23rd can be in and out of their life or cause them ups and downs. Don't forget, the double letters means there's a lot of variable, and sometimes they could be include people that are sometimes in our life, sometimes not, people that cause us ups and downs, or people we seldom see that seem to reoccur. I just want to show you a couple of these names, like Dennis, the double N. N is also, well, see, when it's even number, there is no hinge letter in that. Where Eddie, the hinge letter is the D, and it's a double D. Very variable situations. The person likes stability in their home, and they'd be affected by people born on the 4th, 13th, 22nd, or 31st of any month. And August or Leo people, as well as February or Aquarius people, could affect them because the planet Uranus is hooked up to the sun and they relate to each other. Now look at the name Elliot. You have the two L's and the two T's, but the I is the hinge letter, which means self identity, yet they pride themselves on the O, which is family, and on the L, which is being liked, and yet they themselves are opinionated, and because of the two T's, they have a lot of trust issues. And the people with the propensity L's and T's, which I don't want to keep explaining, but the L, of course, uh, is the planet Jupiter, and people born under the sign of Pisces or Sagittarius, and the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th of any month, and the T's, which is the uh, July or Cancer vibe, and people born on the 2nd, 11th, 20th, 29th, with the associated Neptune planets 7th, 16th, or 25th. So this is how we can evaluate the name and the person's personality and who would be a little bit of trouble or a nemesis to them.